Good evening, Dave. How are you?
Very good, mate. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, we're doing great. We're doing great. It's 4 o'clock on the button, and I say we go ahead and we get the show rolling. So I want to say good afternoon who are joining us here. Some of you could be in the UK or other parts of Europe or other parts of the world, wherever you are. We hope everyone is doing well, and we hope that you are staying safe with you and your family. And I am hopeful that around the globe, we are slowly getting closer to that day when we can all start, going out and, of course, keeping our social distancing, but going out and relaxing some of those restrictions. So I think it's exciting times now around the globe because everyone has been so cooped up. Even if myself, just to be able to go out, take a walk every day, but to even go for an extra drive, it's I'm excited. I'm all energized. So good afternoon to everyone. It's tea and poetry this afternoon, and in honor of our good friend Dave Steele, the blind poet. What we're going to do, of course, if this is your first time joining us, we encourage everyone to interact. And there are a few ways how you can get our attention. One, you can post in the Q&A. You can send a question. You can make a request. If you raise your hand, there's a button to raise your hand. I'm going to assume that you would like to join the party here and come in together with Dave and myself. So if you raise your hand, we will bring you in, and we will have you brought in as a panelist as well. And of course, you could also use and also send anything there as far as Q&A there or just a comment or whatever it may be. So hopefully everyone is keeping themselves occupied and getting ready to enter this next chapter. So Dave, speaking of chapters, all about chapters, and how are things doing these days?
Yeah, all good. I think kind of similar to you guys at the moment. We just had the kind of big announcement last night of how things are going to progress over the next coming weeks and months. Hopefully, touch wood, that everything continues to drop and go down. The plan of action was kind of put into place. So, although things aren't totally relaxed, we are looking at things hopefully in the next coming weeks and months, certainly getting a lot easier. Same as yourself, we can now go out for unlimited exercise as long as we're keeping social distancing. So certain people are going back to work, and but we've still a way to go.
Yeah, I definitely. So with that in mind, let's kick things off with some poetry, because that's what it is all about. It's 4 p.m. here on the East. It's tea and poetry time. Take it away, Dave.
Okay. I've chosen some poetry tonight. We're going to do some talking as well and make it as interactive as possible. But I've chosen some poetry that I think a lot of people out there on the call today can kind of relate to, and not just those living with low vision. If you're searching for someone who understands how your eyes see, don't worry. Look no further, because there's others here like me. I know just how you feel on the days when you feel down. This poetry that lives in me will ease away that. My rhyming explanations of this tunnel that we share, reminding you you're not alone and always someone there. I know you feel self-conscious when you're trying to use your cane, avoiding making eye contact and reasons to explain. I'm with you when you're scanning for that thing that you've misplaced, your heart full of frustration and your doubts on self-worth based. But all of these things normal. There's no need to feel a freak. The thoughts that isolate you, together we will speak. So call on me if you need me. I mean every word I rhyme. I know my life is busy, but for you I'll make the time. Just trust in this blind poet. I will show you I'm a friend that understands these things, and strength to you I'll always lend. There we go. And I think that kind of sums up what these poems are about.
Yeah, I definitely, and what caught my attention is that you always, tell people that you're always available, and you document that. You said that in that specific piece, how you're always available to reach out. And one thing I can tell, I know for certain, is that if someone does reach out to Dave, Dave will always get back to you. Dave will always have something to say to you, and will ultimately, hopefully, be able to change it if you're down, to change that perspective and to cheer things up. So I encourage, we are doing these live events. We're specifically doing them so we can bring everyone here together as a community. It's great to see some of the familiar faces, a lot of new faces today as well. And I'm really happy that, we're coming together as a community and sharing our thoughts and putting together some great poetry here.
A thing that I always talk about, Bari, and I know there's people on the call out there today that will testify to this kind of firsthand, is that all the poetry that I write, it's, when I try and explain to people who are sort of new to me and what I do, I say, oh, I'm visually impaired, I've got low vision, I write poetry, and they go, oh yeah, poetry. But it's kind of more than that. And I think people who kind of follow me understand that these poems, everything that I write, I've either gone through personally, and I mean every word. I always say to people, I don't just write the words, I mean them. And, one of the biggest lessons I've learned through, from the 6 years ago when I was diagnosed and started to lose my sight, and it gave me that kind of new perspective on the way I look at the world and look at things and look at the beauty in each day. It's shown me that it doesn't take long to show a simple act of kindness to people that can make a massive difference. And in this time at the moment where a lot of us have been isolated and locked down and are using the likes of social media and platforms like this to kind of stay connected with people, all it takes is really just, seconds to send a simple message to a friend who you may not be seeing at the moment, or someone that's struggling, just to say, are you okay? Or just, make them smile. And I think we can all do that. But it's certainly, it's definitely
Absolutely.
what I'm about.
Absolutely. And I am with you 100%. I have been doing a lot of the same. I know, even though we're not, going live every day, I don't think there's almost a day that doesn't go by that Dave and I don't at least just say hello, check in, see how we're doing. And I do the same thing with so many other people who are, whether it's friends, colleagues, anyone who I'm interacting with, who's in my circle. It's always, nice to be able to reach out. And I have to tell you also that I've had a handful of text messages throughout COVID-19 from individuals, in my previous life. And I say my previous life, it's before the 6+ years ago, before I got involved in low vision blindness. I came from a whole different background as far as, just a whole different background. And many of you know my story as far as what I used to do. We're not going to go into that now, but I've had a lot of people literally from around the world, because I used to global audience, and it was really nice and really refreshing to see people caring and people reaching out, and specifically for individuals from China reaching out to check on, because they know I live in New York, they know how things have gotten so bad here, and they were reaching out. So it's been incredible. So hopefully that's a fantastic message. And if you haven't already done so, just send a couple text messages a day, 2, 3, 4 text messages a day. By the time you go through the week, you're going to have 21 to 30 plus text message out there, and I know that will have a nice impact and put a smile on many people's faces.
We're all so guilty of, in the normal world before, this pandemic, of saying we don't have enough time. There's not enough hours in the day to do this and do that and pay attention. And we've got that time at the moment. So, don't waste it. No,
definitely. And if you're home and working from home, or just home, in quarantine, think about the time that you would spend in your car or on using public transportation to get to and from work. For me, it's a fair amount of time, and I've been trying to use that time wisely to put in additional hours to be able to, planning ahead. I'm hoping everyone's using this time as just a time to not only to recharge the batteries, but to be able to stay focused and think about the future, because I'm pretty confident that the future is going to be bright. We're going to get back on track to where we left off. It may not happen overnight, but I am feeling very optimistic and looking forward to brighter days. So, are you drinking tea there? I want to know, are you drinking tea?
I've now got a glass of Coke.
Oh, my God.
Do you know what? You know this, Barry. I don't drink tea.
I know that.
I only drink coffee when I'm with you, because literally of the amount of hours you keep me awake and working when I'm in America.
Oh, no. I hope none of my employees are here. No, it's, you know what? I always say we have to maximize our time and make the best out of it.
Absolutely.
But I am drinking tea. I'm drinking a peppermint tea.
Very nice.
Dave,
I bet
you
you're
there?
missing Starbucks, aren't you? I am, yeah. You got me?
You know, I do miss it a little bit. There is one drive-through near my house, but I have not ventured to go through that drive-through. The lines have been pretty long, and I've been drinking a lot of tea lately. So it's definitely refreshing. Of course, I drink my tea in the morning with caffeine, but we are now on a regular tea that's caffeine-free at the moment. So, thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, Yorkshire tea. Never tried that, but I appreciate the tip there. I know, Dave, you're not a tea drinker at all. Have you ever tried tea?
I have, but it's not me. I mean, you know, Amy drinks it like constantly and all the family and stuff like that. But yeah, it's never really been a thing for me. Yeah, I tend to be kind of like one extreme to the other. I'm either like water most of the time, or cocktails.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Or wine.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Let me read another poem, because this is kind of on the lines of what we were just talking about, and then I think we should get kind of interactive.
Absolutely.
But you know. This one, I don't think I've read this before for you guys. This one's called The Voice. I actually wrote this the last time I was in America.
Which was in January.
Which was in January, yeah, absolutely, for the Unblinded event and a few other things. But I wrote this while I was out there. You know, every time I come out, I am always kind of writing as much as possible. And that's one thing I've really missed at the moment. I've written, as you know, we've written some stuff on these webinars, which has been kind of related to the pandemic and things like that. But what I have found is my writing has slowed down a lot because I'm not out experiencing things. I'm home a lot,
right?
And because I'm not having these new experiences, I'm not writing about them. So this has been the least amount of writing that I've done. But you know, as I said, when I come back to America next, I'm sure I'll be writing plenty more, and as soon as we start getting out as well. But this one's called The Voice, and I said I wrote this the last time I was in America. Let me be the voice that speaks to you when you feel lost. Oh, a second, it's just gone. There we go. Let me be the voice that speaks to you when you feel lost, when blindness takes your hopes and dreams and independence cost. Just close your eyes and recognize the strength I see in you. I know you feel a burden, but believe me, that's not true. Although your view is fading, you're amazing, and it's clear that you still have a purpose and a reason to be here. So lift your head, get out of bed, and hold your cane with pride. Remember, though you may not see, there's more to you inside. You're not alone. Pick up the phone, reach out, and I'll be here to read your mind, the stress unwind, erase lost visions fear. My poetry in time, you'll see, will always be a friend, alleviate the darkness when those bad-eye days descend. So let me be the voice that speaks to you when you feel great. Remind you that tomorrow's still your choice and not your fate. So go, get up and get it, because from here, just where I'm sat, just keep on being you, because you look beautiful like that. There we go.
Wow. There are so many pieces of text in that specific poem that I think we can go in so many different directions. And I'm sitting here, I'm listening. Obviously, some of this I've heard some I've been with you while you've been writing. Some I've asked you to write. But most of your poetry, most of your work, You haven't even had. I think you're just scratching the surface as far as going through it and sharing it. As far as reading it out here to the group. Thank you, Tandra. Yes, that's definitely very powerful and absolutely beautiful. Oh, you're making Tandra cry. So hopefully, positive. We got to think positive here. But no, it's definitely incredible work that you've always put together. And before we start calling people in and interacting, oh, thank you, Jamie. Oh, happy tears through Jamie's eyes. Excellent. This is what I love to hear. This is, I think, for me, I know for you, Dave, these moments are what make me excited and give me the, priceless, experience as far as how we're connecting everyone and how your words are interacting and how they are spreading and people are, it's getting to them. So that to me, that's what this is incredible about. I want to put this out there. I know we did not discuss this at all, but I want to put this out there, and I want to see, and I'm hoping you're up to this, to put together a new piece of poetry around the concept of 30 days of excellence. And what does that mean, 30 days of excellence? I want to put this out there and to the entire group here as far as, when we do things, and I know, Dave, when you write 100%, so you get an A+ for that. But, there are many times that we do things that, our mind, our effort, our emotions may not be in it 100%. And I want to just put this out there as far as what we can do as a group as a whole to give everything, a 1 out of 10, to give it a 10 every single time as far as we do it. As far as, it's going to be, if it's getting up in the morning or, now hopefully with these restrictions going to be easing up, getting back to work, being on time, doing, exercise, eating healthy, whatever it may be, if it's you going for swimming lessons, whatever it may be, I want to put this out there where we can all do as a group, go for 30 days of excellence. But Dave, I want to see you specifically to take that from your daily routine now, to take something out of your daily routine for the next 30 days, and then on the 31st day or shortly after, have this incredible piece of poetry that we'll look back and say, wow, this was the, next phase, that next chapter of, departing from COVID.
Absolutely. I mean, typical you, Barry. We've not spoke about this before. You've kind of, just sort of put it out there, and absolutely. And funnily enough, this is something I was talking about just recently, saying about, when I talk about advice with writing, I always say that, whatever you do, write from the heart. I've said that, we've spoke about that.
Yeah.
Everything that I write, I've written over 700 poems in the last 5 years, and the reason why none of them have taken me any longer than 20 minutes is because that if it's not coming from the heart, it's not worth writing. So generally, I get an idea, it just kind of spills out of me and goes onto the page. So what I try to say to people in life is that if you are doing everything in your day from the heart and finding that reason why it should be from the heart and what it means to you, and why it's important, then you're going to perform it 10 out of 10. And it's about caring about the things that we do. You've heard that advice before that we all try and give to our children, of finding a career that is something that they're passionate about and something that they love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. We've all heard that before. And I think we can all put that into every task we do. If we set each day, as you say, these 30 days of excellence, and say that this, we're going to achieve something today that is from the heart and means something to us, then we're going to put 100% into it, and it's going to be something that makes a difference. And that's what I've tried to do, with the poetry, and certainly, with kind of all my interactions, even more so since I started to lose my sight.
Yeah, it's oh man, I wish you could get over here to the U.S. already. I know we're doing all these Zooms, but I was thinking about yesterday. I was like, I wonder when Americans going to reinstitute that nonstop flight from Manchester to Philly. It's I hope it's sooner than later, and I am super anxious I was just talking about this yesterday here in the house, that how much I am looking forward to having Dave return to the U.S. I know we haven't discussed this in a while, you know, but I'm thinking, you know, again, I'm really trying to get past COVID-19, looking into the future. You know, things will be different, you know, when this is officially over. You know, what are face-to-face events going to look like with distancing? You know, just everything I think is definitely, you know, there's going to be changes to everything that we do. But I am hopeful that we can see you on this side of the pond within the next 6 months or less. That would be a great opportunity. So I want to bring in here, and I just want to, we're going to open it up now. I'm going to bring a gentleman here who is a good friend of ours, and his name is Ben Fox. He goes by B Fox. I am going to bring Mr. B Fox into this conversation right now, and I'm going to promote B Fox to a panelist, and I want to hear what B Fox is up to. So B Fox, let's see if you are available, and
yo,
let's see. I hear you. Hey, there he is.
What's up, guys?
Face up in time.
There he is.
Dave.
How we doing, my brother?
Good afternoon, my
Miss
friend.
you.
I miss you. I miss you. And I got to tell you, right off the bat, when you were talking about sending quick message back and forth, I have a Facebook message from you, my friend, that I have not answered. And I was feeling guilty about between us. I love you, my brother. And that's, I couldn't wait to say hi to you. And I am available.
For a prime example, you know, I reach out to you, and you know, and I know people have busy lives, and I respond. You know, the fact that you've been busy and you don't respond to me, it's never an issue. But I know the words reach you, and that's the most important.
Can I tell you something? There's a specific reason I wanted to highlight that on this call. I thought about just not mentioning that, but I want to tell you something. I had a couple COVID days, brother.
Yeah,
I had a couple COVID days. I was measuring my eyes, there's different things, and I got to tell you, just I want to let you know, like, for the relevance of this discussion and like what we're all doing. But like, I had the text message open to you. I was like, "Hey, what's up, Dave?" And I was like, I wanted just to reach out, like maybe you were reaching out to me for whatever reason, but I wanted to, like, I was trying to come up and like, "Hey, I'm super happy," you know. And in Japan, I go, "Genki desu ka? You happy?" And like, I just want to reach out, like, but I couldn't muster it in those couple of days. And just in case, I didn't want to bring you down. And for this public forum, I wanted to tell you that because I felt it was relevant between two of us. We had that. Maybe other people are having that too. I love you, brother. Thanks for still giving me a smile today.
Listen, it's great to see you, and I can't wait, as Barry just said there, for us to get back face to face and do this. We've got some big things planned, me and you and Barry, and you know, it's going to be amazing to kind of get to putting these plans into action.
Dude, yes, sir.
Yes.
Count me in, always.
I know you're in, B. I know you're in. I know we're not here. We're not. I don't want to sidetrack or anything like that. But you know, whoever is here, we're not making any announcements today. But stay tuned because there are going to be some big announcements. I know Ben is chomping at the bit to open up their mouth and say a few words. But
I'm trying not to let the cat out of the bag on something.
I'm begging you.
I know. I'm excited. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it is going to be awesome. And the opportunities that are going to be coming out of this, the poetry, the words of wisdom, I'm not going to go any further, but that's what we'll be.
While we've got Ben here, I'd like to, because like the thing I love about Ben, and for those people on the call that don't know Ben, Ben, can you kind of say how we met? You know, how we come to be friends.
I've got a book right here that was handed to me by your very hand the last time we were in person at one of the probably, you know, one of the coolest events that, you know. And by the way, I want to just give a shout out to folks that are like Dave and I, because, you know, we like to raise awareness about people having, you know, the ability to still see some, especially those of us with tunnel vision. And Dave, with my tunnel vision, I can see you got a beautiful family.
Thank you.
That's awesome, my brother. You guys, when I see you on Facebook, I kind of feel like I'm like just Uncle Ben over on this side of the water. I can't wait to come and see your whole family. And you guys are awesome. So the way that I met you, Dave, just for the listeners, is when I first was trying to explain to friends and family that I know what's going on with my vision loss. For example, my dear grandmother, who when she and I, funny story that gives a direct answer of how I met Dave and how my family met Dave, and that's the point. When my grandmother stopped driving, she and I stopped driving together. And she was in her 80s and I was 30. And she just couldn't understand, because she could ask me, because her eyes were also failing, guys. And she could ask me to read the newspaper for her, which I could do. But she couldn't really grasp why I couldn't drive her to the store, you know, and I didn't need a white cane to walk around the house. And like literally, Dave, your books, I didn't have the book at that time, your online poetry that you share for free, just from your heart. Thank you. Because my grandmother was able to read your words, and it was so clear to her quickly what was going on with me. Because last thing on that, and then I'll move on, because greatly what I specifically appreciate is when I want to put on a strong face for my family who's watching this confusing, complex situation happen to my eyesight in life. Like, for example, I couldn't drive my grandmother down to the store real quick, but I could read the newspaper, that type of stuff. I wanted to put on a strong face, and I wanted to be brave for everyone, and just even for me. I didn't even want to express to myself how I was feeling as that was progressing. You gave me the ability, because of your vulnerability. Thank you. You put it here. I put this, you know, digitally into my family's and friends' hands. And they could like read that, and they could like give me that nod that I could see through my tunnel, that, oh, I get you. And I could just go, because maybe I would have cried if I tried to express it. Maybe I wouldn't even have found the words. So there you go. That's how I met you, Dave. Oh, and then I just started emailing to you. And if I got, guys, by the way, if you try to ask, because I was doing some different stuff with some blind tech conferences and events and stuff, and I was asking Dave if he'd come out. And if you ever try to ask Dave to come speak, he will refer you to our main man, Bari Azman. And that, yeah, because Dave was back and forth chatting with me about various things. But I was like, all right, Dave, all right, you're the man. Come out and speak in Arizona. And he says, talk to Bari. And so that is how I met Bari. And the rest is just awesome. Not even, it's not history. It's just in the making. And
so history in the making
will be made. And we'll write songs about it. We'll sing them.
Absolutely. So now you've introduced yourself to the kind of people listening. There was one thing I want to do while I've got you.
Yeah.
And one thing I enjoy doing with you, Ben, especially after what you've just said and what we were talking about beforehand, which is why I asked you to do it, kind of. There was a method behind my madness.
Okay.
I love reading you specifically poems, because I know how much you feel the words and you relate to them. So while we've got you on the call, I have a poem here that I looked up before the call, that I had ready to go, and the fact that you're here is just, the timing's perfect. So this one doesn't have a title. I've never read it before, but I want you to listen to this intently, and I'm sure there's people out on the call that can relate to this, but I know, Ben, that you can too. And it goes like this. I know sometimes the hurt inside your heart just feels too much. The world seems out of focus, from the seeing world lose touch. But I know how it feels to have the sight slip through your hands, and understand that things in life don't often go as planned. So just because the vision in your eyes is not much use, it doesn't mean that life is done and time to be recluse. There's so much more that you'll achieve. Just grab your cane, for I believe there's a reason we are here. Don't lose your life to fear. There's so much more than seeing, so much more that we can be. For I have realized that I am happy to be me. Let's live life blind and live it great. Do anything we contemplate. Our eyes are only impaired. A cloud will shift when shared. For I have come to realize the scars upon my skin remind me all that I've survived and battles yet to win. When walking through the darkness, guided by belief, I'll overcome my anxious chest and deal with future's grief. I see that there's a strength in you, that I once thought I'd lost. And like these words in Braille, I see your heart inside embossed. So listen to that voice that this blind poet, so listen to that voice and this blind poet when you're weak. My words are yours and always there. To your soul I'll always speak. And when your little left has gone and eyes no longer see, I'll be right here to comfort you. You can always count on me.
My dear brother with RP.
Yep.
Yes, my friend.
We have a question here, and I want to leave. Is that tea? Or is that tea and poetry?
My brother, it's the best I can do. It's a latte.
Okay. Good enough. Okay. So we have a couple of, we have a question here, and I'm actually happy that Ben is at a panelist right now, but I'm going to read the question it's from either Kelly or Kaylee. Hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And the question is the following, and before I read the question, I'm just going to say one thing to Ben. Be careful how you answer.
Okay.
Ooh. Roger that.
Okay, and I'm going to let both of you take a stab. How can an individual with a visual impairment enter the entertainment industry regardless of talent area? For example, modeling, voice acting, singing, and so on and so forth. So, Dave, any recommendations there?
Okay. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're asking me my personal opinion is that talent should always shine through despite disability. And there is plenty of advocates out there that I would quite happily put any individual in touch with who can kind of guide you through that for that scene. I worked as a singer for years. I know people within the acting business and entertainment industry, and I know people out there who specifically fight for the rights of people with disabilities within that kind of field. You will always come up against barriers, but we all do in life. But if you have a passion and a talent to do something and a belief, because that's the most important thing in everything that we do, is the belief that we have in what we're doing. Because forget disability, forget blindness or low vision, put that to the side for a minute. When you are, trying to become a singer, as I did for many years, you are going to get knockbacks, you're going to get rejections, and you still have to kind of believe in yourself and keep going. And as long as you've got that mixture of the talent and the belief and the strength to keep going, disability doesn't make much of a difference, because you can still do whatever you want to do.
Excellent advice. Ben, do you would like to add anything on to that?
Oh yeah. Now, everybody, I have to be careful of answer because of the announcement that I can't let out of the bag, which is just more, letting people know we got something cool to announce soon. Specifically you, Dave. I got a picture of you on a website I haven't told you about yet. I'm so happy to tell you. Anyhow, that's all I could say. So, the easy answer is, and the reason I was smiling is because that's a great question to ask these two gentlemen on this call. So email Bari. That's my direct answer. Email Bari. That's a good way to start to get the ball rolling. But I want to echo specifically what Dave was saying, I want to highlight, because that's high quality, high caliber, just feedback that you provided there. Just the art shines through. And one thing that I want to say that's just becomes so clear to me is just because somebody's visually impaired or blind does not mean you're going to get a pass in the entertainment business. It really doesn't. And sometimes, and it's been interesting to me because sometimes it does mean that, by the way, in different settings for various reasons. And I don't want to go into that whole thing for a lot of reasons, but at the end of the day, the talent is what counts, and talent is the staying power. But talent is only talent. But you got to, and I'm going somewhere with this, you got to refine it. And for me, and this is so important, when I really truly understood that my vision may actually lead to full blindness, for a minute, I gave up on the idea of refining any talent that I may have. And that's a message that is so powerful in my heart that I want to just go, guys, keep believing in yourself. Hopefully a little bit of time that I lost to like forgetting that I could actually refine my skills regardless of how my eyes work. Hopefully that'll add to my story and my voice. Cause like, I would hate to think, and let me just change that word even. I'd love to think that I didn't just lose a year or more of just thinking, oh, I can't do things. Cause guys, Dave, look at what you've done.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. And the talent's shining through.
But that's the key to it all. You know, you talk about what I've done, and this is you know, the advice that I try and give to people is, when I started to lose my sight and I was really struggling, and all of a sudden I found these words. Those of you out there that are familiar with my kind of story, when I struggled, you know, I was at my lowest, and all of a sudden I found this ability to write poetry. What I found was, and the reason why I am here today and known as a blind poet and get to do all these incredible things due to you guys' support, Bari and yourself in particular, is because everything that I write is from the heart. So, you know, I worked for the best part of 20 odd years as a singer, and I never had the impact, nowhere near the impact that I've had in the last 5-6 years doing this kind of work with the poetry, because it's from the heart. You know, when you talk about actors and singers or anyone in the entertainment business, if you're doing something, you know, and you have a passion for it, and it's coming from that pure place, then that's where the success comes from. It's not just about the talent, it's about putting that heart into it. And that's certainly is what works for me, and certainly why, you know, my words have resonated with people. People have asked me to write poetry for different things, and it's really, I have done it on certain occasions, but it's much more effective when I'm writing about something that I truly have either been through or felt or care about or believe in, because that's where it really touches people. And that's the same with all music and acting, and if you're doing something that's from a place where it touches people, that's where you get the success.
Absolutely. And, you know, your heart will never steer you in the wrong place when it comes to, you know, the work that you do. So anything that you're passionate about, it's definitely going to come through. I don't think this person's on here right now. But there was I did a radio show interview 2 weeks ago, and you know, you never know who's going to be listening on the other end. And you know, here we see who's here, a lot of familiar faces, which is fantastic. But you know, when you're on a radio show, we're dealing with very, you know, large audiences. You just never know who's going to be out there. And I was asked a question, and I gave a response. I answered the question, and an email appeared in our general inbox a day later. And what amazed me was that someone with this listener was able to literally hear and experience and feel my personal passion for the low vision blind community and the work that I'm doing, and how that resonated with them just through the airwaves. So again, it's just, when you're passionate about something, it's going to really, you know, whether it's through email, through these live streams, through webinars, through radio, through TV, whatever communication medium, it is definitely going to shine. So again, you know, it's so important.
Once again, timing is just impeccable with this, the way things work. That question, there's a poem that I pulled up for tonight that really kind of resonates with what we were just talking about there. And once again, I'd like to share this with you guys and get your reaction. This one's called Yesterday. I've never read it before. I picked it out for tonight, but it's funny how, it's almost spooky how these kind of things and the subjects that we talk about fall into place. It's called Yesterday, and it goes like this. I remember feeling that my lack of perfect sight meant all my dreams were over, but I know now that's not right. The fact my eyes are dying doesn't mean that I can't see. The vision in my mind creates the possibilities. I've laid down in depression, wrapped its blanket round my chest. These scars upon my wrist show me I've survived the toughest tests. But look at where I'm heading. Look at all I can achieve. No matter where you are right now, there's hope, so please believe. I know that I'm disabled, but I'm able to create. These rhyming explanations blind tomorrows contemplate. These words I write can put the light right back inside your heart and heal the wounds that yesterday ripped your pride apart. So even if you feel like you are at your tether's end, please know that it can all change and there's good times round the bend. These clouds will disappear as quick as soon as once they came. I know, for I remember yesterday I felt the same.
Dave, I got to take notes after each poem because I don't want because I have so much that I want to talk about, but obviously, we don't have the time to go through and really, go through each line by line. I can just, go back to high school and, we used to, teachers give us an assignment for a piece of, Shakespeare or something like that. And you had to really go through and digest what, Shakespeare was saying, what he meant and all that stuff. So we have our own Shakespeare here with us in our community here. So this is truly magnificent. Just Kaylee or Callie, I apologize. I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Has another question. And that question is, do the poets collaborate with other blind poets, even sighted poets, and poets of various cultures? So Dave, that's you.
I have collaborated, and certainly within the blind community, what I found, or the low vision community, or whatever you want to call it, I found that there's people that have been inspired by my poetry to start writing themselves, because music and poetry, I always say, are the same thing, and music and poetry to me are a great way of kind of expressing how we're feeling. It's a great way of getting a message across. And for someone that is going through anxiety or depression or just a dark time in the life, just to simply write it down on paper and get those feelings out and not even think too much, because when I write these things, that poem, for example, probably took me about 5-10 minutes to write. I actually don't think that much when I'm writing them. I literally, it is, sometimes it's like there's someone sat on my shoulder. It just spills out of me. And if I'm thinking too much, then I just hit a block and it goes. So, I found lots of people that I've kind of reached out to and sent those little messages to, like we spoke at the beginning, just making sure everyone's okay. I've got to write in themselves. I know Ben is certainly one of those people, and I'm sure there's other people out there as well. And, but as I said, with other poets from out with the low vision community, I have worked with some as well, but I'd like to work with.
Yeah. So, I want to put it, go ahead.
To say, do you remember when I emailed you? It must have been 2.5, almost 3 years ago. And I said, I haven't written anything since I had my diagnosis. And thank you, because my writer's block is gone after reading your poetry.
Yep.
Thank you again. I just popped in my mind. So,
yeah. And it's the same when we get together, Ben, and we create. And we bounce off each other, and I get ideas from being with you guys, and every time I come out, it's still just the beginning of this journey we're on, and I'm, like yourselves, very excited about all the things that we're going to do.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Ben's been burning the midnight oil and writing away like there's no tomorrow. So
it's creative,
we'll leave it like that.
Not all like you do. It is a little bit different.
No. Not competitive.
Not at all. It's completely different. Completely.
No. But Ben has definitely been writing away and incredible. I want to read here a comment here from Annie. Hope you don't mind. I'm reading this out loud. But Annie works at the National Eye Institute of Bethesda, Maryland, and they fund a lot of research with eye disease and blindness and rehabilitation. And she's saying that she finds it so interesting to see the point of view of people affected. So Andy, thank you so much for that, sharing that feedback. We greatly appreciate that.
And I'd love to come out, guys, as well. I can't wait to get back out and do some talks face to face.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, Dave is a regular, on the non-COVID days, is a regular visitor to the Baltimore, D.C. Region. We would love to come out and bring Dave to Bethesda. So feel free to reach out to me. Again, if anyone wants to reach out to me, my email address is Bari. It's spelled B-A-R-I at thelowvisionshop.com. Once again, B-A-R-I at thelowvisionshop.com. I have to say also, I was on a meeting last week with a few individuals, and one of the gentlemen asked me for my email address, and I was giving it, and I said, Bari, and I said, let me spell it from you because there's no way that you're going to know how I spell my name. He's like, okay, I spell it. So I said B-A-R-I. And he says, oh, that's so funny that you spell it like that because I grew up in Italy in a town next to Bari in Italy called Bari. And I said, wow, it was because that's where my name comes from. My father was born in Bari, Italy back in the day. And my parents decided to take that name because that's where my dad was born from. So named after an Italian city called Bari. So the fact that someone was able to pick that up, I was feeling good about that. Let's see here. If anyone wants to come in and join the conversation, I'm going to leave Ben in here because Ben is part of the crew. And again, we'd love to. Anyone wants to raise their hand, please don't be shy. Anyone, if you raise your hand, bring you in to introduce you. If you've never met Dave, to talk face to face, ask any question. Dave is an open book. Don't be shy. And again, if you just want to say hello, any comments, love to have you come in and participate. It's a great opportunity. And if you do have a fear, you are camera shy, this is a good opportunity to try and get over that fear. I want to share with you, probably about 2 to 3 years ago, you couldn't pay me to get in front of a camera, like craziness, like scared out of my mind, shy, I'm super quiet. I don't want to be, you put a camera in front of me, I'm like freeze up and all that. Thank God I've gotten over that fear. So if you do has that fear, again, there's nothing to be afraid of. By putting yourself in an uncomfortable position, you are only going to make yourself a better person. So that is how all of us get better and make ourselves into a better human being. So by putting us and stepping out and going into an uncomfortable situation, this is how we all become better human beings. So hold on, we do have a question here, it looks like. My pleasure, Kaylee. She just thank me for sharing her questions and putting it out there. And great, Kaylee. Hopefully that's the right way. Like you said, I'm pronouncing it right. And please, Kaylee, please reach out to me because I do have some additional insight as far as talent as well. We have here, Cynthia. I think Cynthia's from the UK, correct? Is Cynthia from the UK?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Cynthia is saying that she can stand in front of a class, a whole school, room of students. However, when it comes to the camera, she becomes very shy. So listen, I encourage, if anyone has that same, that feeling of being scared, just got to go out and start doing it. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So again, we got to take that leap forward and make it happen. So Cynthia, don't be shy. Start with Facebook. If you want to come in right now, we'll bring you in right now. We'll do whatever it takes if we can help out. Again, anyone else here want to share any thoughts, any questions?
Plane, but we're going to do that when we get to America as well, aren't we?
What, can you repeat that? I cannot hear the whole thing you said.
I was going to say it's like jumping out of a plane.
Right. Yes. Ben, have you ever gone skydiving?
Not yet. I just went up in a helicopter though via the Visual Experience Foundation.
Yes.
Shout out to Michael Benson. And by the way, Mr. Dave Steele, next time you're over here, how would you like to come out and hang out with the Visual Experience Foundation and do something really cool? Because we're looking to do, this isn't giving me cat out of the bag type of stuff. This is on behalf of Michael Benson because we're recruiting some celebrities from the blindness community to go out and do cool visual experiences with, and we're raffling off prizes for hot air balloons and stuff. So that might be an experience to write a poem in a hot air balloon with the blind poet himself. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That sounds good to me. No, I don't.
I would like to see a piece of poetry
We'll have somebody
written from a hot air balloon.
We can arrange it. Sorry, Barry. Okay. What was that, Barry?
I want to see some poetry written from above in a hot air balloon.
Easy.
The helium won't get to you.
You know what? You could write poetry and like throw it like paper airplanes. That'd be kind of like polluting, but it could be on biodegradable paper.
Yeah, sounds good.
Paper airplanes from a balloon.
Poetry
Like
bombs.
Custom written airplane poems.
Instead of message in a bottle, you know, they're going across.
One of a kind collector's items.
Poem in a plane.
Poem in the plane.
Poem in a paper plane.
Flying poetry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. By the way, just Jamie, who's here on this call or on this webinar, whatever we want to call it, the Zoom, she says jumping out of a plane is on her bucket list. So, Jamie, we're going to, if that's on your bucket list, I think we can make it happen. Maybe we will do maybe we'll just charter our own aircraft.
That'd be a good idea. That sounds fun. How many people could we get up there? What if we had, like, I don't know, 25 people that are blind and visually impaired that want to jump out of a plane on the same day?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Cool like that.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Yeah. I think I'm sure we could definitely make it happen. You know, no barriers, that's for sure. Work hard, play hard, right, Ben?
Work hard, play hard, no limits.
No limits.
Dave, I think if you came and jumped out of a plane, we could probably call Kirk Adams. And I'm just saying we could ask. I'm not saying he'd do this. We could ask him. Tell him that you're going with this, Dave, jumping out of planes. I think I saw a photo of you jumping out of a plane. Is that right, or is it bungee cord jumping, Dave?
No, I've jumped out of a plane before. The photo was actually of Amy, my wife, who jumped out. We both jumped out for a charity 2 years ago now, for a charity that I'm an ambassador for here in the UK. Yours. Right. And yeah, went from 15,000 feet, and it was great. Yeah.
Is there video footage of that I could see?
There is actually on YouTube. I could do a link. Yeah, it was great.
Oh wow, I'd love to check that out. Yeah, cool.
I've never done it before, but I don't know if my stomach can handle it.
Yeah, fine.
I think we should do a charity fundraiser, and if people donate to like $1,000, Barry, I think that's a worthy cause. $1,000 for a cause. Yeah. For Barry. Barry's just like, his stomach's just Just kidding, Barry.
I don't do well on coasters, guys.
You know what? I've always wondered if I got up in the air, if I would be the guy that could actually jump out, or if I'd be the guy that's like, I'll see you at the ground.
No, you'd be fine. You'd be fine.
I'm wondering. I'm scared of heights. I'm with Barry. Quite frankly, Barry, I'm with you on that. I was talking. We had the plane. I think I'd be the cameraman from the plane.
I'm not scared of heights. I personally, my stomach cannot handle those drops.
Oh wow. Oh okay. I'm literally scared of heights. I am literally scared of heights. I don't like sitting in the window seat of the plane, even though I know we're not going to fall out.
Well, can I just say, my wife Amy, she was same as yourself, terrified to go on flights. It was actually her idea to do the skydive, and she went up and did it, and she cried when she landed. You'll see the video on there. I'll send you the link. But just, you know, the most amazing thing she's ever done, and the confidence it gave her was just incredible.
Now that's cool. The confidence from
that's food for thought. That's food for thought for me. I will definitely entertain the thought. Please do not tell my wife, but I will definitely entertain the thought. Jamie says she's in, by the way, so she doesn't like flying, but she says she's in. She's ready to jump.
Let's do it. Let's raise some money.
Let's raise some money is right. We are going to have a great not-for-profit that we want to raise money for. So we will, more details to follow. I think, I don't know, Ben, did you do like plant seeds? Did you have like specific people come on today just to like ask these questions to get things, you know, get me riled up here?
Well, there's this movie called Star Wars, and they talk about this thing called the Force.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. People just kind of felt the call today. So
listen, no, this is the way it goes on these calls and these experiences. Every time I come out, we seem to be right place, right time, speaking to the right people. it's almost like it's meant to be, and we're on some kind of purpose.
We definitely are. We definitely are. And I am super excited. I am fully energized. I'm dressed up here in a jacket today, going nowhere but being with you guys. And I am really energized and just anxious to really get back on the road. We have, I think all of us here, we're all on a mission, and we have a lot to accomplish. So by hook or by crook, we're gonna get it done, and we're not gonna let COVID, social distancing get in our way. We are going to move forward, and we are going to pave our way forward. So just want to thank everyone for coming on today. Before we sign off, is there anyone else that would like to join and say hello? Please don't be shy, raise your hand. But Dave definitely had a few words before we go. So before we do that, take it away, Dave.
Okay, I've got one last poem I'd like to read to you guys. Kind of sums up how we all are feeling at the moment in these kind of COVID days. It's from Stand By Me RP book, volume 3, which Ben had. It's called Together. And it goes like this. If I can read it in this light. Just one second.
I literally was gonna ask you if you could read a poem. I picked the volume 3, and that's the book. That's wow.
Hey,
I'm sitting here with this book. I was like, I'm not gonna ask him to read a poem. He'll read. He's gonna read. Awesome.
I long to see the faces of the people that I love. I long to see the beauty of the stars from up above. To watch our children playing on a beach of golden sands. No matter what the challenge is, we'll face it hand in hand. Those sights forever fading and the details fade to blur. I know together we will be, that's one thing that I'm sure. I hope one day they find a cure, so one day that I'll see the sparkle in your eyes when you are looking back at me. But I won't waste a moment, not holding out for this. Although sometimes I think about the beauty that I'll miss. I'm still a lucky man, and I'm grateful for my life. That in my strong embrace I'll hold my children and my wife. Don't need all of my senses for happiness to share. I may not see your face, but I will always know you're there. We'll make each day a moment. We'll sail across the sea. No matter what blind future brings, together we will be. Can't wait till we're together.
We're going to be flying across the sea.
Absolutely.
But, okay, so if no one else has anything else to, no one's raising their hand. I guess we have some individuals who are shy today, but it's been great. But it's okay. It's all good. Everyone will get over that one day in the near future. Oh, we have one last possible comment. Let me take a look here. Cynthia says she's doing a fundraiser for guide dogs for the blind. This week it's called Walk Your Socks Off for Guide Dogs, which is fabulous. So, yeah, Dave, maybe you want to share some stuff on that. That would be great. I just want to thank everyone for participating today. I wish everyone good health, and we will see you sometime very soon. Again, we will be back with another episode of Dave Steele, the Blind Poet. Hopefully we will be posting something for next week. But until then, I want everyone to focus on 30 days of excellence. And we want to, 30 days of excellence. And we got one more thing. Thank you, Kaylee. He's researching about learners with visual impairments, and this was great. So we're very happy to have you here. Feel free to, again, reach out. I encourage you to reach out to me. I have some more information for you that I will share with you offline. Dave, thank you very much for an incredible journey this evening. And I want to thank Ben Fox, Mr. B. Fox, for joining us as well.
Ben.
Hey, Dave, thanks for letting me on, and Barry, thanks for letting me on.
That's great.
Thanks for letting me on. You are part of the crew, and we will be seeing you more and more in the very near future. And for the folks who are in Baltimore, stay tuned. And I wish everyone a good evening, a good afternoon, and we look forward to reconnecting very soon. Have a wonderful evening, Dave. Thank you. Take care, Ben.
Bye, guys.
All the best, guys. Thank you so much. Peace out.
Peace.
Oh, well, one last thing. One last comment. Oh, nope. Oh, Tandra, you're very welcome. Be well. All the best.